Hey everybody, this is Jeff, Swing Trade Warrior with warriortrading.com. Back with our weekly swing trade recap blog here. Got a lot of requests to bring back the video blog for some of the week's trades, and so that's just what we're going to do here today. A couple of names we traded this week with 100% accuracy are CSX, CC, and NVDA. We'll go over those setups now. We opened a couple other positions this week on Visa and AMAT, GD, but we haven't closed those out yet. So we'll look forward to doing a recap blog on those next week. But these are the trades we did close out this week. Just want to mention for the month of September, we did hit 100% accuracy. Now, granted, I was traveling for a couple weeks out of the month. I was still trading, but I wasn't as active. But still pretty happy with 100% accuracy. Made some money, and overall very happy with the performance coming into October, which happens to be my favorite and historically one of my most profitable months. So looking forward to capitalizing on that. And let's get into the trades. So CSX was one of the names that we alerted, or we closed out last week. Was a buy alert on September 20th. We bought it on the pullback here, the second red candle. Now if you notice this pattern on the daily chart here, we get this long sideways basing action here. It's just kind of bouncing off of this bright red line. This bright red line is a TAS box, and it indicates an area of resistance when the price action is below that spot. Well, what do we know about resistance? Previous resistance will become future support, and future support or previous support becomes future resistance. Well, in this case, previous resistance at this price level ends up becoming support, and we get this big bull flag here, this big flagging pattern, consolidation pattern, where it taps off resistance, and the moving averages are creeping up while the price action is consolidating in this tight range, and then sure enough we get a breakout here and a move to the upside, up and over. Now keep in mind, when we're trading most of these names, when I'm looking for setups, I find stocks that have breakout potential, but also looking for stocks that have low implied volatility. I'm a big options trader. Options have been very successful for us this year. We're about 90% accuracy on our spreads. And that is because we keep to a very specific set of rules, looking for certain implied volatility levels. And remember this, as the saying goes, you buy low implied volatility and you sell high implied volatility. And that's all we're doing here, looking for low volatility setups with breakout potential. We get that here. Again, this thing trades sideways for quite a while. It starts creeping up here, and just as it's tapping under the highs, right here under this 2950 area, you can see it plays a pretty significant role as far as price action is concerned, going all the way back to September 2015. So this has been an area we've struggled to get through historically here in the last couple of years. And it creeped up to that price action in a very bullish manner. The market was very bullish, and the applied volatility was fairly low. And so we bought ourselves some November 27 calls, and they were the lowest. They had the lowest implied volatility of any of the in-the-money strikes or out-the-money strikes. So for whatever reason, volatility hadn't caught up to those particular calls yet. So we just did a single leg strategy on this. Just bought the calls, the November 27 calls, and we held it through this move to $30.50 here. Got a couple points of room. We locked up 30% on that in just about a week. We were in that one. Let's see, we were in at 275 and out at 355. For a 30% gain. So something you guys might not know about me if you're not one of our members. When I'm trading options, I use the same targets on almost every trade, 30 to 50% profit, and I'll use a 30 to 50% stop loss, almost a 1-to-1 ratio. Why don't I use a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1? I could, but in my experience, I have found that because my accuracy is so much higher with options, that I can afford a 1-to-1 strategy because I'm not hitting my stop loss that often if I give it enough room, and that 30 to 50% against me, that's usually enough for the trade to work itself out. And so, like I said, for the month of September, we hit 30% on every options trade we took, and I don't think anybody here or anybody I know would ever complain about making 30%. Why 30%? I get asked that a lot too, because 30% for me, statistically speaking, remember it's important that you track your metrics. All our students get the trade tracking sheet so that they understand their metrics too. The importance of tracking your metrics is so you understand where is your highest probability chance of success. Where does that fall? For me, I know that most of the trades I take using the strategy I do, will hit between 30 and 50% before they fade. So why would I want to hold for 100% winners if I'm only hitting those 10% of the time, but I'm hitting 30% winners 90% of the time? I'll just take my 30% and move on. And so that's why it's important to understand your metrics and understand your numbers. Put yourself in front of more winning opportunities. Base hits win ball games, not home runs. But if you take enough swings, eventually you'll get a home run. You'll get an overnight gapper that'll be up 100% for you, and that's awesome too. But we don't try for that. We just try to consistently get 30% to 50% returns on these trades, and it hasn't failed me yet. And that's what keeps me in this business. Important to note. When you guys are trading options, I get a lot of people ask me how I calculate 30%. It's pretty simple. It's 30% of my average price. So if I buy a contract for $1, I'm looking to sell it for $1.30. That's 30% gain, right? If I buy a contract or a spread for $3, I'm looking to sell it for $4. It's all relative, but it's not based off the total investment in the trade. It's based off of the average price. And also, for people who ask, I don't usually spend more than $7,000-8,000 in a single options trade. You can if you want to, but I don't need to, and I choose not to. That's kind of my comfort zone. So you guys can go in a bigger size if you want. It just depends. On stock trades, I won't put in more than 50 or 60,000 into a position. So it all depends on what we're trading: small cap, large cap, the price of what we're doing, and the strategy we're using. So it can vary, but for the most part, those are my averages. All the students can log into the dashboard, and under the swing trade blotter, you can see my year-to-date metrics for average position size, average hold time, profit loss, win rates, total number of trades, things like that. All right, so CSX was one of our first winners last week. We held that one for about a week, and we got our 30% out of that. We did take a stock trade last week on CC as well. CC hit my swing trade scanner early last week, and you can see this thing has been in a pretty significant uptrend since July. We've been moving higher and nearly at a parabolic rate at some points here, and we're testing the highs here. Let's see here, the highs here back on September 26th. That's when we entered this trade. So what I liked about this trade when it hit the scanner, we had this nice flagging pattern here, big move up, a little consolidation and a pullback, but a nice little area of support here. It didn't give up all its gains. It was just a little profit-taking consolidation period, and we're going to look to move higher once we break over this red line. Remember, that's the TAS box, and it shows an area of resistance based on volume and price action. So we got long on CC at 1486, and that was alerted on September 26th. Okay, and we were able to sell through the move to the mid 15s. Unfortunately, on this one, I did choose to exit. I stopped out, profit stop at $15 after we popped up to $15.40, $15.36, and I sold some of my position. It sold off again, back down to 15. I bailed, and then, of course, now 2 days later, it's up to 16 bucks. So didn't know that was going to happen. Obviously, we have to take our profits when they're on the table. This only turned out to be a very small winner. It was only 1.6%, but it was a stock trade. We locked up about 34 cents or so average on the 4,000 share position. So it wasn't the best trade. It wasn't the cleanest executed trade. However, we still made money on it. It was very hard to lose money on this, and our stop was never triggered. So good job to everybody who took this trade. Once again, this was on a swing trade scan that showed up. If you guys have seen my how to make a watch list video on YouTube, you can see the scanners that I use and how I go through that whole process. Okay, that's CC. Finally, the third trade this week we locked up was the biggest. Was on NVDA. Now, NVDA has been a big winner all year for a lot of people. I mean, look at the trend this thing has been in since May. It's just been moving higher. It's almost up 100%. It's up well over 100% on the year. And it's definitely something that I think is going to keep continuing. It just has unbelievable momentum behind it right now. If you take a look here on this green arrow, what was that? September 26th was the day I alerted this trade. Why did I alert this trade? Well, because we've been testing this area of resistance for quite some time here. At this point, this blue line represented the highs for the stock, the all-time highs. and it kept testing and flirting with that area, unable to hold and fall back. So watching this applied volatility was surprisingly low at this point in time, and the conditions were not overbought on the daily chart. So I like this for higher. It's definitely been market with the market, and bucks the trend on the market to sell. So I like this for an opportunity. Call spread November 150, the November 65.70 vertical call spread for debit of $2, and we got the breakout the next day here. This thing just kind of crept higher, and hasn't looked back since. So almost a day or two later, we sold this thing for $2.55, and I did leave some money on the table here because I was out very soon. Remember, said earlier, I don't swing for fences. I go for base hits. I've left money on the table by not staying in longer. Sometimes I think it really has potential to continue higher, scale out half my position, and then hold the rest for the bigger move. In this particular case, I looked at the let's see here. Look at a monthly chart, for example. You can see this thing is significantly oversold. RSI overbought. The RSI 90s here, and we have this extreme parabolic now. This is a monthly time frame. So I had somebody ask me about this. Stock twits. And they said, "Hey, look at the chart. Swing trade on this. Extended. Well, because by the time the next candle forms, I'll be trading out of the trade. Sure enough, I made 30% on the trade, in and out of days without ever having to worry about what's happening on the time frame. But it is important to understand that this thing is definitely oversold. And should the market correct, something that's top heavy, candidate rather quickly. So that's on the time frame. It doesn't really affect us on the daily, but it's something to keep in mind. If you want for the bigger move on this, if the market were to come in sharply, probably stand to get beat up pretty good on something this extended. I definitely like the strength of the stock here. Like I said, when I'm getting out 30%, stock keeps moving on, and people are freaking out. I never hear anybody say anything to me when I get out of 30%. The next day the stock takes for whatever reason, the market sells off. Whatever. I've lost my nobody says, "Oh wow, should have held it 35% because 35% sold off." And the people seem to it's the greed and the fear thing driving the market. Greedy. Did you get out early? So much money on the table. Well, didn't know that was going to happen, but statistically speaking, I know that I can hit 30% of the time a lot more than I can hit 50. This thing had a good chance of selling off. Turns out it didn't. I'm not mad about it because made money on the trade. So you have to let go of that emotional connection to fear and the greed because it doesn't really serve the strategy well. Trader, you robotic. I always say the best traders would be sociopaths because they become emotional, detach themselves entirely from their money, and that's ultimately what it would take to be successful. That's why the algorithms are so hard to compete against. When you're trading. For those of you who've ever seen algorithmic trading, it's just a robotic process with no real concern for how you feel about a trade or what what's going to happen. So that's why robots are hard to compete with, but it doesn't mean that we can't make money. This is a perfect opportunity. So those are the three trades: NVDA, CSX, and CC. Like I said, we're in Visa right now. You can see. We're in Visa. This is a pullback trade. We got long down here EMA, and that's about flat for us right now. Applied materials. We got in this one on this red candle down here. Now we're up point from our entry. This one will probably close out for 30%. Hoping early tomorrow morning. And then GD. General dynamics here, and we got one on this one 30th. Which was the red day here. We bought the bottom of this pullback, and so we are flat as well. Looking for the highs also. Tomorrow I'm going to be watching a couple different names. If you haven't got the watch, email it should be going out to you soon. Let's see here, I'll pull it up.
We got AGEN, AXL, OCN, BMY, and ACN.
Okay, so if you guys haven't got watch list, not signed up, remember you can always check my Twitter feed, and stock to its feed, Warrior. I do release screenshots of the chart for those of you who want to see what I'm watching today, get an idea. Doesn't tell you everything you need to know. Gives you an idea of watching based on strategies that I trade. For those of you who aren't familiar with trading, don't only trade options, but I do make it pretty easy, and I have a quick reference warriortrading.com/options, and you can learn more about the strategy option trade. If you guys have any questions and you're watching this video, you shoot me an email, Jeff at warriortrading.com. I was happy to help. Everybody has a good rest of their weekend. Enjoys the football, and be back at it Monday morning.